Welcome back, everybody, to Two Tamers Talk. My boy's home a week early.
I'm home early, guys. So bad news for all my fans. I know I got millions and millions of fans out there, but specifically those in the Bay Area, I am home early.
Yes.
My work project ended early, so I decided to take advantage, come home, come back for our locals.
Yes.
So I cannot wait to talk about our locals because I was very excited to come back and play.
Yep.
Right? We were talking about how there were some illnesses going around, some shop maintenance kind of, preventing me from playing before I left.
Yeah.
But I have to talk about a wonderful experience that I had playing in locals down in the
You
Bay
had two
Area.
locals before this locals. That we haven't
Correct.
talked about
So,
in
this,
Cali.
this was a great whole trip for me, right? Like, not only did I get a lot of great stuff done for work, for my actual career, right? Like, unfortunately, guys,
I thought Digimon was your career.
YouTube and Digimon is not my career. I do have a full-time job that I very much like. But I was able to take advantage of this work trip and really focus on my deck building and focus a lot on play testing. So we got a lot of engagement in our Discord. So for those of you who are not on our Discord, feel free. Link is going to be in the description.
Yep.
Jump in. Feel free to reach out to me directly. Shoot me a message. I love talking about this game. Any questions you may have, deck building advice, send it my way. But I really wanted to take advantage of this trip, especially to kind of like reformat, kind of refine, kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like develop the skills and just be better at like a core deck, right?
Well, you're entering an entirely new environment with new players, new meta, new experiences.
Yeah.
You're not just playing in our locals with our familiar faces.
So I kind of just decided to really double down on my yellow war gray.
Yeah.
That deck that's in our channel. It's a couple videos back at this point, but so it's a really fun deck. Red base, yellow BT4 War Gray, goes
Very
into the War
fast.
Gray X. It's aggressive, takes full advantage of the X antibody Digimon, the X antibody option. And so, this entire week I've been tweaking it, right? I added in another Goonimon, right? Especially before I played in this locals on Saturday. So I was able to play in two locals on Saturday, one in the morning. Got creamed, just creamed. I swung into security, hit some high DP bodies, hit kill spells, especially when I could have probably played it more safe and killed the body on board. So that was a really good, like a progression of the game, like kind of like a flow chart, like if this, do this, if that, do that, kind of like learning how to play the deck better. And then not only that, like I literally picked up some BG9 cards.
Yeah, you bought a box.
In between the morning and that evening, to make a couple changes. So
just to get some new eggs. Yeah.
I actually decked myself out, drawing too many cards in one match. So I decided to change my eggs to the BT9 Koro to give the yellow War Gray additional DP, to give War Gray X additional DP. Really made a huge difference in the deck. Very excited about that change. And I really just wanted to take advantage and go to 3 X antibody options in the deck because I realized how invaluable that is to my build.
Yeah.
And it made a huge change. I also ended up going up one more tamer.
So you're telling people don't watch the
No,
old
I'm saying watch that video.
and then watch this one and make the same changes.
Watch this video. First of all, watch every video we've ever posted ever. No, I'm just kidding. What I'm saying is join the Discord, shoot me a message, ask me specifically what did I change, and I will gladly send it your way, and I'll just send you a nice clean deck list so you don't have to hear me, just go on a rant forever.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that you're tweaking the deck.
Yeah.
I would say that you're fine-tuning the deck.
That's
because
exactly
you're
how I feel.
literally changing it like one
the
card
core,
at a time.
Yeah, the core strategy is still the same. The whole principle is still the same. I'm more just making things, way, way more
Efficient.
efficient, adding in, some cool cards and stuff like that. So I'm very happy with the performance. And I ended up went from last place at the Saturday morning locals to second place at Saturday night locals.
By only changing your eggs and a couple
By
cards.
changing my eggs and changing 2 cards in the actual 50 card deck.
Yeah.
And I lost to Melga X, and it was just a really good game state. He literally left regionals like online to come play, and he ended up getting like top 35 or top 36
Oh,
or
wow.
whatever.
He dropped
So,
and he still got top.
No. So his event had ended because our event was late
okay,
enough,
gotcha,
right?
gotcha, okay.
But he was top 40s. And he beat me with Melga X. So Melga X is a terrifying matchup for me. I don't think I win it no matter what happens unless he breaks and I have just like a god hand or something. But no excuses. It was, but just the whole difference from literally last place to second place by changing 2 cards in the main deck of my eggs. But I ended up playing that again at locals today. It was very, very fun for me. Our Wayward City Games locals. And I've just been loving the deck. I love creating these fat stacks. I love the color change. I love all the Agumon, Greymon stuff. It's a lot of fun. And I just wanted to, bring it back and see how we do at our area, especially after just playing it so consistently, trying a whole bunch of different changes. And it did really well for me tonight. So my only loss tonight was against Dark Knight. And Dark Knight is such a good deck. Oh my goodness. It has so many, like the fact that they're just blockers because the Nene.
He Digivolve.
Digivolve, delete a 5 cost, which, if you Digivolve my level 5, I'm a 5 cost 5 or level 4, you delete me, right? Like it's
Greymon
super
X
efficient.
That big. Yeah.
Huge shout out to my opponent playing Dark Knight. Dark Knight's got to be, unfortunately, the deck I have yet to deck profile. I don't know if I could build it better than all these people that are destroying me with it, right? Because it just seems to be a trend for me. But I'm a huge fan of Dark Knight. But our locals went great. I want to hear about your performance.
You know my performance.
I do know your performance.
At this point, if you watch the channel, then you should know. So we did have to cut it short tonight, so I will be gracious in that fact that I was playing for first, but I was playing for the second first place because going into round 3, we had to close a little bit early tonight, so we were only able to play 3 rounds with 13 people. So usually that would dictate a 4th round where the undefeated. So we went into the 3rd round with 4 undefeated. So I was one of 2 undefeated. So you can say I was first place. We got prized out both as first place. But me and a Mastamon player, the one that you've seen his deck on the video or on the profiles,
regular top
bunch of times. Yeah. He co-won. We were co-managers of winning tonight. You know what I mean? But I played Security Control, my Security Control Digimon deck. Very close to what's on the channel. Nothing super crazy different. Just a couple Digimon different than what's on the channel. But I went undefeated 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. I played against. It was so much fun. It's the first time this format that I didn't play Machine Dramon, even though I feel like I really wanted to play it. I get to the point now where I don't bring it. If I bring it, I'll end up playing it. So I don't bring it because I wanted to play something different. And I believed in this deck so much because I've been working on it for so many formats.
I mean, you were kind of in that same mindset I was, right? Where we both took full advantage of this week away from me being at home to test, to tweak, to become better players. And I really think in just one short week, we really did step up our game.
Yeah.
Both of us, right? Playing a ton of webcam games. So if you're not in our Discord, jump in, come bug us. We'll play webcam games with you guys.
Well, and a ton of what I changed in this deck was due to the testing that we did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Because our testing is the hardest testing there is because we both know almost every
each other's
card
decks.
And how each other plays, right? So this deck did really well for me tonight. I got first placed, I'll call it, undefeated.
Yep.
And it did really well. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people kind of played into it, but also played against it at the same time. I played against, I started against Dorbic.
Yep.
Which was terrifying because
Dorbic is so cool, man.
This player is amazing. He plays the red version. He plays very red all the time.
Yeah.
And Dorbic, I have like PTSD because Dorbic against Machine is terrifying because that Metallic Dramon that Digivolves over and over and over and over again.
Correct. You're talking about Dragon Links.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dragon Links that has Dorbic
features
Dorbic. Yeah. So I played against Links.
Okay.
So that Metallic Dramon, like I have PTSD because like with Machine, like it just keeps taking my machines off and I keep having to put them back on.
Got it.
That part bricked a lot against my Security Digimon because I don't Digivolve. So he stops me from Digivolving, which I don't really do. And he Digivolves, but I don't have any sources. So,
a lot of times your bodies have no sources.
Yeah, they're just right there. Yeah. But that Volcanomon or Volcanic Dramon is terrifying. The one that swings and trashes the security when it swings. So I used all my removal to get rid of those. And so I was able to take that down 2-0. And then I played against a deck that I was not prepared to play against, which is the Death X Tribal deck.
Death X Tribal.
So the Dex Doru Dex.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, it's the one that Gora line.
Yes, the one that Digivolves from trash all the time with the option cards. And I think the saving grace on that deck, a lot of it was the Mimi.
Oh,
because that Digivolve with the Death X card,
the Death X Devolution or Dex Devolution.
It actually cost him memory to play.
Because normally it's a 0 cost.
0, yes. But they still have to Digivolve for the cost of the Digimon.
Correct.
They just get to pull stuff out of trash, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that it only has blockers if it's the level 4 that makes it the blocker and retaliation for the turn. So that deck is mainly geared towards like swinging with retal into big bodies to kill them, and then eventually going into your Death X for free with a that caught me off guard.
That's insane.
Because I Wyvern's the Dex Doru or whatever, and then he was able to play the Death X for free.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, okay, what did I just do to myself?
Yeah, that was terrifying. Yep. But I was able to pull that one out. But great games for sure. And then last game was against Rabbits for the co-win, which
guys,
I did not.
If you haven't seen it, go check our fun commentary videos where you try to show off finals, barring any technical difficulties, shop issues, whatever. We should be having that every week.
Angoro Tribal.
Angoro Tribal, man.
Gargo Tribal or Angoro?
Green Rabbits?
Yeah, Green Rabbits.
I think Green Rabbits is what we're going to call it.
Green Rabbits, yeah.
This player, guys, high regards to him for sure. He has been very committed to this build, to this deck since day one of this set. So huge shout out to him. He had an outstanding performance this whole evening. Yeah. So yeah, very happy.
Well, and still with our locals, we are still in this, holiday season, sickness season. We were still missing some of our core members. We're still missing some of the core J's that founded everything. We're missing at least a couple of the big J's, Joe and Jordan that usually show up that I think that we're just didn't make it tonight. We missed them.
We do.
Yeah. So we only had 13 tonight, just because, man, like everybody in the Pacific Northwest is sick. And so we're hoping that after the holiday season, we get our core huge group back. Yeah. And we want everyone, we wish everyone well, and we miss everyone. We're still keeping up with everyone on Discord. We're still playing some Discord games. So like Jeff said, come join our Discord.
Check it out.
Play some games.
Come shoot us some questions. Yeah. Tell Jesse he's your favorite of the two. Come tell Jeff he's your favorite of your two.
You make all the decks, man.
Oh yeah, whatever. let's have some good conversations.
All right, we're gonna get into some good conversations because I was really happy this morning because I was like, all right, I know we're gonna do the podcast tonight. Yep. And we were blessed with Digimon posting the regionals results this morning. And
if you guys are not following Digimon Card English version, get on Facebook, follow that. Unless you just hate Facebook, I get it. Whatever, but just follow that page. They post the all of these major tournaments.
Yeah, Latin America, Europe, here, wherever.
It's really nice to see. It's a great resource for us to see these cool deck lists.
Yeah. So as always, we're going to talk about the winner because we have a regionals results, right?
We do.
All the people that were in California that were playing with you.
All the people that literally, I was at the card shops as they were talking about their performance for this day or whatever. These are the results.
Yep. And I am super excited about these results for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the first one. So security control. This is not going to be popular with a lot of people.
No. So this is, security control is a very, very strong, necessary evil to our meta, right? Because you just cannot let decks get away with doing this crap that they do
with the big stacks,
without having some sort of counter to it. Yeah. So for those of you that like control decks, play this deck list, definitely have some fun with it. And what's great is seeing this evolution, right? Remember when security control first started, it was that McDonald's is what they called it?
Yeah.
The red, yellow?
Yeah.
Right, because you played Gaia Force. You played, red options because red had the best removal.
Yeah.
Right? And so you either played yellow tamers and red eggs or vice versa, right? Now we're clearly moving on to a really cohesive color strategy in purple-yellow.
If we're talking about it, it's because DP reduction is way better removal than deletion by effects.
Yeah, the fact that they gave yellow this insanely powerful effect, we were just talking about my Wargrave, right? Yes, the Greymon X antibody does let you trash too, right? To prevent deletion by an effect. Guess what? DP reduction is not an effect. It's a game mechanic.
Yep. And it's been that way forever. Like when we got Wyvern's Breath, we were like, this is a better Gaia Force.
Yeah, or even Lord Knight. When the fact that Lord Knight was swinging, all of a sudden it's playing Nightmon minus 4K. Or back in the day where you would Digiburst with the yellow War Growl, the orange looking War Growlmon, which if you're listening, Bandai, obviously big subscriber. Give me another one of those. I like the orange War Growl.
Yeah, so they gave yellow all the good removal because not only did they give them the DP reduction, we have that great card Chaos Egg that so far, until BT12, I believe, does not have a counter.
So not only did yellow have this insanely powerful DP reduction mechanic that not any other color gets, right? Like this is strictly a yellow thing, right?
Yeah.
Like yes, the Rise Gray from BT4 does -2k and it's a red card, right? I get that. But now we have Chaos Dag.
Yeah.
This card is insane. This card literally lost me 2 games Saturday morning, caused me to fall into the bottom last place because I would keep hitting Chaos Dag.
Yep.
And even in security, I would heal, but I just lost this entire stack that I spent my entire resources on.
And you have no
and drew
prevention.
so many cards and decked myself out. Like, it was insane. Chaos Dag is super good.
Yeah. My question with this deck is, I mean, I feel like if I played this in locals, I would go to time.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of Digimon in this deck if you're looking at it.
Well, that's a great conversation to have, right? Because we were talking about how, like, in Japan, a lot of times they have to do best of one. Just because of the format, they have to do best of one just because of how things are kind of set up over there, right? Where you can take advantage of that with security control because of the fact that, like, okay, I'm only playing one game in my round. I don't need to worry about going to time nearly as much as a best of 3.
Yeah,
right?
This is a long game deck for sure. This is just like, I'm going to keep clearing your entire board and recovering.
Yeah.
But like, look at all the few, they don't have a lot that swings. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, they don't. They were talking, 2 Avenge Kid, 4 Solas, 3, 4 Magna Angels.
Well, the Avenge Kids you play at the end of the game. The Solomons you raise and swing usually when you need to recover.
Less than a third of the deck are actual bodies that can do damage to security.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Props to this player because they won. They took it. So
I really like this distribution of options. I think the kill spells are really effective. They have a great amount of recovery. They have, honestly, one of my favorite cards from the beginning that's kind of fallen out as the game has gone on, Eden's Javelin.
Yeah.
It's a good draw card, right? It hits in security, you draw one, then you do DP reduction. The Mimis, you obviously have been showing me the strength of those Mimis.
The Mimis are good because they're a cheap, they're a memory choker, and they're just intimidating on both turns.
So what's interesting about this list is because previous security control lists that have been topping played a lot of the Junomon because Junomon can Digivolve on top of the Magna Angemon, returns any Digimon from trash to hand, has retaliation. Junomon is not present in this list.
Well, especially with 8 Tamers.
Yep.
There's
a lot of Tamers.
There's no
which
Lowies.
Takes advantages of the Schwartz.
Yeah.
Schwartz is one of my favorite option cards in the deck, for sure, because I just have such a fond attachment to that card when I was playing Purple Hybrids, right? Very effective in this deck, but like we're talking about, it doesn't play Junomon, and there's another key card that Security Control used to play that's not present.
Well, and how many decks do you see that run 8 Tamers with no hybrids?
I agree with you for sure.
Like I would probably take out the Edens
even just
and run 2
of
Lowies because even if they hit him in security, you can pull him back out with a mat.
Yeah, but he's not playing Gallimon Crimson mode. There's a lot of decks out there that played a one of
to go on top
Crimson
of the
mode.
Avenge.
That was like a staple one of in security control because it would trash cards. It would trash opponent's security, especially for the mirror match.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the builder of this deck maybe kind of figured that security control mirror wasn't going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Or just kind of figured, you know what? I don't need that one of anyways. Let's increase the consistency, which I'm always for.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
I hate text, but it's just one of those things that it's very interesting seeing this list, especially compared to the history of the past couple security control lists that have been topping that play that Juno, the Crimson mode. I don't remember seeing the Purple Kari nearly as much.
Not as much, yeah.
So congrats to this player. Outstanding list. Totally taking advantage of devastating kill spells, purple, yellow, absolutely the way to go.
Yeah, because the Avenge Kid does something with a fly bullet, right? Doesn't it play the 7?
No, the Avenge Kid returns options back to the deck to kind of prevent decking out, but it's one of those, like, it doesn't play the fly bullet, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
man, it's all that 3 Musk little tweak that they put in there is obviously devastating. So we're going to talk about, too, my favorite part about this morning that I was so excited about, and I blew your phone up with it as soon as I woke up.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, we have a top 8 in regionals, and they're all completely
different
freaking decks.
Yes,
they are.
Absolutely.
I mean, the closest you have is this Dorbic deck and a Black War that has Dorbic in it, but those are different decks.
No, those are 2 different decks. Absolutely.
But it's like, this is a sign that Digimon is doing it right.
It's a refreshing to the scene.
This is not 4 Melgas and 2 Alphamons or whatever the ratios are. This is 8 individual decks that are completely different decks.
Yes.
That rolled completely different algorithms and wow. Like this blows me away. This is what makes me really happy about this game, and the fact that it gives me like a lot of inspiration to be like, you can build whatever you want. And there is a lot of luck in this game, right? There's a lot of dice rolls. There's a lot of rock, paper, scissors. But the fact that we went 8 of 8 without one copy deck in our regionals, like that's fantastic. I mean, first we got security control. And then we got this Alphamon.
I just want to take a sec, right? So pull up that alpha. Pull that alpha.
I'm going to pull up the alpha. I'm going
to
pull up the alpha because I have a big I told you so alpha.
Let me just take a sec to like say that exactly to your point that this is a sign of positive. Nothing but positive for this game. Like I there seems to be a trend last week, right? Where people thought Digimon was kind of dying or falling out, and I never really understood it. Just because the One Piece TCG came out or whatever doesn't mean Digimon's going anywhere.
No, I think a big part of that was the fact that Magic has a big falling out right now.
Yeah.
And everyone applies the roadmap of Magic to all TCGs, and I don't think that it applies.
Yeah,
I really don't.
So Digimon, guys, is in a great state. We're going to stay positive about it. We're absolutely loving this game. Tons and tons of growth still to come. And this is a perfect example, this Alphamon deck list, of not only growth in the scene, right? But the fact that just because a card got restricted doesn't mean an entire deck is gone, right? So obviously this deck still plays the one Dora Gray, which, guys, if you know me, you know I hate calling it Dora Gray, but it's obviously the best card in the entire deck.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it got restricted, right? It's very, very strong. But if you have not bought your Grademon Altarts and you are planning on playing Alpha again, buy them because they're probably not too expensive at the moment, right? But this deck got second place at a huge event. Like, obviously against security control, this deck might have a tough matchup, especially with DP reduction, where Alphamon doesn't necessarily prevent that, right? Or Chaos Dag, where it doesn't necessarily prevent that either. But
let me know when I can get to my I told you so.
Listen, we got to hear Jesse's I told you so, guys.
Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Oh my God. I was so excited to see this list because not only does it play the 4 cool boys that we talked about before.
We did. We
had a big talk about cool
Not
boys.
only that, because we had a great member of our community join our Discord and not only tell me why I'm wrong about cool boys, but came and showed me how strong it is and how much of an impact cool boy does provide. But what else did we have, Jesse?
My card of the week from last week.
Yes.
Dude, I saw this on the list and I felt vindicated. Okay.
Look at that I'm onto something.
Punch.
Yes.
It's the Zubagon Punch.
Zubagon Punch.
It is so good for so cheap.
Yes.
Like with Machine Dramon, Death X, which isn't in this deck, wasn't in the last.
Which is awesome.
It was in the last deck, but it's not in this deck. Oh my God. Final Zubagon Punch is so good because it makes that Alphamon reboot blocker 19k. Ooh. You could even run it on the other Alphamons with the DP boost that you have in the Inheritables. It is so good for so cheap. And I feel like, I don't want to say that they were listening, but
Bandai obviously is huge subscribers to our channel, right?
Somebody looked and saw how good Zubagon Punch is in a black deck. It is 2 cost, reboot, blocker, security attack +1, and it and 3k, and it retains it all the way until your opponent's next turn.
Yep.
It makes, I mean, how many times does Alphamon have to unsuspend?
Great point.
1,000,000 times plus a Zubagon Punch. That's
how many times in these type of decks have you noticed when you play against it, right? Where it's like, yes, they may have an explosive turn. They may completely wipe you down to 0 security, but they're also at 0 security.
And they're all suspended.
Right? Yeah. Where it's like, okay, yes, they may be completely wiped you out, completely turn the tide of the board, but you have that little body come in a raising area that can just win the game.
Yeah.
Well, Final Zubagon Punch answers that, gives it blocker.
Yeah.
It makes it unsuspend, reboot, right?
And huge. Yeah. I was super happy to see this. So, like, I'm not a huge fan of Alphamon. Obviously, I've never built that deck, but when I saw that, I was like, what a great addition to this deck. And not only it's not like a little, they play more Zubagon punches than they do X antibody options.
Which is crazy to me, right? Because or that they have one ultimate flare instead of like Iron Fist Onslaught or something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay,
I think that's the Jesmon counter.
Jesmon counter
Probably.
or the D Brigade counter
Or
Bloom
Lord. Yeah.
Right? Like obviously it makes a lot of sense, but I mean, guys, great list. Like 5 level 5s in this deck is insane to me. I could never build this because it's not enough consistency for me.
8 Tamers.
8 Tamers.
Oh, no, 10 Tamers.
10 Tamers, just way.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you guys miss Alphamon, build this list, play it. Let us know in the comments
those
what you
BT4
think of the alpha. Let us know. I mean, because come on, the Greymon Alt Art is a good-looking card. Like, there's no denying that Greymon is a good-looking card. It was just a matter of playing that versus the Doragora.
Right. Yeah. All right. So there was.
Yeah. So we had a whole great representative. So first was Security Control, purple yellow. Second was Alpha.
Alphamon.
What was third?
Grandis.
Absolutely great deck. For those of you that are new to the game or maybe just kind of like figuring out where to get your feet wet, highly recommend Grandis. Great deck list. Follow that Facebook page. You can totally see that list. Grandis is just such a fluid deck. It's very fun. You can see lots of great plays and combos in there. So
I believe this was a 4-4 Grandis, Grand Quagga Grandis split. So they find a way to fit 8 level 6s where you couldn't.
Yes. My only complaint about Grandis is the fact that is the green insect that somehow gets to be getting all the love and not the Hercules Garbage line.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my Izzy fans, Garbage Online fans. Where's our love? Hopefully we get that soon.
Yeah.
What's 4th place?
Melga X.
Melga X, guys. Holy crap.
Deck.
This deck is just crazy. It balances a body. It becomes a blocker. It just does all the things. It seems to always have pieces. You always hit Hammer, Spark, and Security. Like, why do they keep making blue so good, man? I mean, whatever, right?
Well, this is, there hasn't been a lot of Melga X support for the new sets. So
Correct.
Because they're focusing mostly on Blue Flare, which we don't see on this list.
No Blue Flare on this. I'm kind of surprised
because we were seeing Blue Flare topping. Not necessarily number 1, but it was in the top. It was in contention, but I was very surprised that we did not see
Me too.
Blue Flare.
Yeah.
So moving into the next one, which I know you kind of wanted to talk about.
Yes.
What was the... it was the Parasaurmon.
So we're talking about 5th place, Imperiodramon.
Yes.
There is one specific card that I wanted to talk about in this list, and that is a 3-cost vanilla
Level 4.
Level 4.
Yeah.
Parasaurmon. So guys, for those of you who have seen our channel, we love the support. For those of you who have not, check out our red purple Imperiodramon from EX3, where you see a fine example of the same principle, taking advantage of good vanilla cards. That is something that I've always loved about Digimon, that I can just especially compared to other card games. Like other card games, you get a vanilla card, you're like, oh great, I'm not going to use this.
Doesn't have any effects. Why would
right? Doesn't have any effects. Why would I use this? Why would I even look at this card? Digimon is a great game for many reasons. One of the reasons specifically that's remains close to my heart is the fact that vanilla cards are useful, right? So with this whole Imperiodramon deck, you can imagine just having 3 memory. Hard play a 3-cost Parasaur, you DNA Digivolve.
Yeah.
Right? So the Fugamon in the red purple Imperiodramon is that same purpose where, Jacob, our great deck builder, had that same exact idea where this game just, takes the advantages of great
Give me
abilities.
a cheap level 4 3-cost source. Yep.
So if you haven't seen the deck list, again, check out that Facebook page. We're not going to be posting every, page, but what was the next place?
Dorbic, and I think we have
Let's talk about Dorbic.
We have that one here. That one is very similar to one of our players.
Yes, and we're this close, guys, to getting it featured on the channel.
Yeah.
We're just working out the logistics of the whole thing, so it will be coming. Very excited to share with you our Dorbic deck profile.
But this deck is so menacing, and it is so multi-purpose.
Yes. So, first glance, you're looking at this, and you're like, what is this dude doing?
Look at red and blue together.
Red, blue,
green,
black, green.
Yeah.
What is going on here, right? But you guys, if you have not played Dorbic, play Dorbic. I don't care what you're doing, play Dorbic.
This is not a Lynx deck. This is a Dorbic deck.
Yes, this is focusing with your win condition, or you're just big body playing with that Dorbic, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, let's talk about the red options, right? We got tons of draw.
Yeah, 8 draw cards.
Yes, we're talking about red memory boost to really help you when you need extra memory. We're talking about a card that I kind of hated when I first saw, Hero of the Skies.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Hero of the Skies, right? Before we had Heir of the Dragons, I remember being the only person, apparently, in the entire Northwest when I was playing my Red Zoo that played Heir of the Dragons as a 3-cost draw 2, because I did kind of have that Magic background where I'd want to draw cards in hand.
Yeah.
Where I want to have that card advantage. And I want to be able to, get things I needed quicker, have more pieces to have, more combos, more response, whatever. We're now at a point where we have 2 cards here in this list that draw you to Fireball, which here's why it's not a 4F. Because sometimes when it triggers in security, or when you have it in hand, it deletes a body.
Is that a bad thing, though?
It's not a bad thing.
That's why I was wondering, why don't they run 4 and 2? Like, I feel like Fireball is clearly
Here's the
a better
reason,
card.
right? Because there are times with Dorbic where you want to get as many different named swords, dragons, anything that you can Digicross Dorbicmon with, right, into your hand as quickly as possible. So if you run that 3-3 split between Hero of the Skies and Fireball, they're both 2-cost options that draw you to, but Fireball has to delete a 3K.
So why not run 4 Hero and 2 Fireball?
So I agree with you. In fact, actually, let me take that back. I actually think it should be 4 Fireball, 2 Heroes, right? But there's a reason why I didn't get top 6 with Dorbic mod, right? So check out, guys. Stay tuned to the channel. We're having a Dorbic mod list being posted very soon. It's actually pretty close to this, but let's highlight some of the Gamamon Tribal.
Oh, that's what surprised me.
That's what surprised me too, because for example, guys, if you've seen our Gamamon profile, if you're a subscriber, you've seen that I love the Gamamon, I love the Ghost Game series, and that I was going to be putting Dorbic into Gamamon, right? And so my whole deck was going to be featuring the whole Gamamon lineup, but just having Dorbic as kind of that Digicross when you need it. This is just next level.
Yeah, this
it's
is
just playing
Dorbic
2 of the 5s
with the Gamma when you need the Gamma.
Mm-hmm. And out of all of the level 4s to play, why did they only pick those ones?
Because it's unblockable.
Because it's unblockable.
Yeah.
So now you have this Dorbicmon that can swing for game and is unblockable. Yeah. It's insane. And you got great level 3s. You got to take full advantage of the Guilmon, the Guilmon X Antibody, which are both different separate materials for this Digicross.
The Magir can unsuspend.
The Magir can unsuspend. The black Digimon on plays. The whole security attack +1 from Volcanic Dramon. Or Master Tyrannomon.
Can I tell you my favorite part of this deck?
Yes, please.
That Omnimon X Antibody. That's my favorite one. I love that card.
Being able to trash
people don't know what to do when that's out because they swing and you're just like, you don't swing.
Yep.
I'm going to swing again. Well, you don't swing. I'm going to swing again. Well, you don't swing again because with Dorbic, you have so many sources. All you have to do is trash 2 and you stop the attack from even happening.
Yeah.
And if he swings, like if he has any DP boosts underneath him, like with the Agama, like with stuff like that, like he's swinging and he can kill almost anything on the field when it swings.
Yeah. And guys, this is like one of the maybe 2 decks I've ever put together where I like ADP. I'm not an ADP fan.
No, yeah, you're not. Yeah.
I absolutely hate the card. I mean, I get why people play it, but the fact that you have to build this entire strategy and then like it all falls apart if you don't have an ADP, I just think you're a bad player.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like there's, like again, let me just say my credentials, I've not won any of these fancy events. So obviously, don't take my opinion completely personal, but like ADP makes so much sense in this deck, right?
Yeah, 100%. Because you're swinging to win. Yeah. It's an OTK you have all day.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you have the room in this deck, and man, Dorbic, just so much fun. Like, who would have thought that this, like, almost, I don't want to say gimmick, but it kind of is a gimmick.
It's an EX3,
out of EX3,
like, very proportional deck. I mean, this didn't exist before this. Yeah.
No, because, like, a lot of people were teching in 1 to 2 of Dorbics in Dragon Links, right, to take advantage of all of these cards. Well, now here's the deck literally dedicated It's the only 4 of I think I see on this list besides the Guillemon.
Well, and the Agumon. Yeah.
You know, it's like...
Yeah, I ran against something similar to this tonight. I think the only downside is this. I think that they just rely on that Dorbic not dying. Because if they can get it out early, it's like Machine Run. Like if you commit to that big stack early, it's great early.
Yeah.
But you're left with no cards in your hand, which is where the draw cards come in, right?
Yeah. Now, I will say this about this list. I do think our Dorbic list is going to be better that we're going to be posting. I might be biased because I love the gentleman who's been creating the list. But also, I think that the choices that he's made for his dragons, for his swords, they're very close to this, obviously, right? But one thing that stands out to me, especially play testing against his deck, or he's been sharing me the pictures of his list, he's not playing any like the Security Geogray or the Security Quartermon to really help him get those bodies into hand, whether it's draw power or get him on the field to help Digicross, right? Like, why isn't this list taking advantage of that? Right? So definitely stay tuned to the channel, guys. We're going to have this wonderful Dorbic list posted here very soon. It is not this list, so don't worry. It will be different.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to share it with you.
So this was 6th, and then if we're going to the next one, Bloom Hydra got 7th.
Yep, very interesting.
Still very competitive in the meta. And I feel like it's interesting because we have teched a lot of our decks into going like defending against wide boards because like, you're like expecting to play against Jessmon and stuff like that. So this is the only like wide board deck that I see in this format.
The Bloom Lord,
Yeah, because there's no Commandramon, there's
Correct.
no Jessmon. This is the only one that goes wide quickly and actually maintained in the top 8. So well done to that. And then there's a Black War Gray with 3 Black War Gray, 3 Gaiomon, and it actually has 2 Dorbics in it too.
Which is crazy to me that all of a sudden this random EX3 card that you didn't see much play, I don't think, in Japan besides like Gamamon lists and stuff,
can fit
is now
into a
making
Black War Gray deck.
Feature. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it, guys. Keep
Great
it coming.
regionals, great results, great variation. I mean, this is the stuff that like when I see this in the morning, it like pumps me up. I'm like, look at that.
To see it.
8 out of 8, all different decks.
It's a huge sign of positivity for the game, guys.
So good.
This game ain't going nowhere. We got tons of, this game's awesome, guys. You'll keep liking it.
All right. So now we have to get into a correction.
Okay.
We're getting into multiple corrections. So
yes,
we're going to talk about...
I'm very excited about this topic, guys. So for those of you who have been avid followers of our channel, I love it when you guys comment on any video we make, right?
Yes.
Please continue to engage with me. I make it like my life's goal to like always be checking these YouTube comments, right? And like respond to every single one that I can. And if I miss it on an older video, I apologize. Reach out to me directly on Discord. Let's have a conversation. But for example, let's talk about my Justimon video that just got posted.
Yes, we were corrected right off the bat. I think within like the first 35 minutes.
Guys, I'm really happy about this, right? This is really important to me because me as a card game player, as somebody who wants to refine his craft, I always strive to be better, right? I'm always tinkering with things. I'm always trying to figure out ways to make things better, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, the Justimon. Like I talked about in my Justimon Zoo, not playing the Chikurimon from the starter deck. We talked about
we were both there, and we both did. We pinged off of each other.
And I don't want to make any excuses, right? We were told, our understanding of the Chikurimon was that it stops all play costs, right? Which I guess is technically not wrong. It does stop all play costs, whether it's Digimon.
Stops reduction of play costs,
Yes, but what is not a play cost?
An option. So, guys, this is just a fine example of me, just having a big dumb, like not being very smart with this game, I guess. Well, we're all getting better, right?
Yeah, of course.
There are so many.
I'm having some fun with myself, right? But like when you actually read the card of an option, we're talking about the top left-hand corner, literally above the circle with a number. It doesn't say play cost. What does it say?
Play. Or no, it just says cost.
It just says cost. Yeah. So with that being said, the Chikurimon from the starter deck, absolutely, I will be figuring out how to put that in my Justimon Zoo deck. If you've not seen that Justimon Zoo deck, or if you're just a huge Justimon fan, we have 2 videos
Yeah.
specifically dedicated to one of my favorite Digimon, Justimon, right? Where we talk about fun, unique ways to play Justimon, right? And one of those decks involves, using Justice Kick, where you reduce the cost of that option by 1 for each tamer. So I didn't play that Chikurimon.
Similar to Crimson Blaze, right?
Similar to Crimson Blaze, yes. So this is a very great point, and I'm super grateful to the gentleman in our comments, or excuse me, I shouldn't say gentleman, whoever you are. I don't know. I can't assume gender, so I apologize. Whoever made that comment, thank you. Please continue to engage with us. I absolutely respect that. I really do appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to seeing more support from you in the future. So that Chikurimon will probably be going in the deck.
Yeah.
What can I say?
It doesn't stop yourself. Yeah.
It doesn't stop my own Justice Kick. So why would I not play that?
Yeah. So that's a good point to make. It's just that there are very subtle things in Digimon that are commonly overlooked, obviously, because that is not
game,
just,
right?
that is printed on the card, but it's not a corner of the card that we look at with a jeweler's lube, like it is very
well, I mean,
small.
like if I'm playing in the option, right? I'm not saying it's, I always think it's like, well, I'm paying the cost,
and it's
right?
reducing
this
the cost
is the cost to play
Yeah.
the card.
Yeah.
So it's like, why is that not play cost? So I think it's important that we're having this conversation. I think it's really interesting point of the game that there are so many things that are beyond surface level.
Yes.
Where it's important to have our wonderful resources. We have an outstanding community. We have great Facebook pages where people are very responsive to questions, and people are just so knowledgeable with this game. Where, I know you are like our primary judge at the events. I try to be a good backup just in case you're busy. Right, where, it's like these things are important,
Yes.
To our community, to the game, to all of it.
And that's why we're talking about it, right? Just so everyone is on the same page about a lot of these. And so that's kind of why we wanted to bring up some of the commonly misjudged rulings. It's just like the X antibody source, right? So if you tuck an X antibody option and someone tries to strip the bottom source, probably because they're playing blue. I think that's the only color that's going to do that, right? If they're stripping one source, does it skip the X antibody option and take the next one?
That's what I thought it did.
Yeah, it does not. It just whiffs.
It does not. It just whiffs. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But if it takes the bottom 2, like Sora and Joe, it's going to take the one above. It's going to whiff the first and take the one above.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah, I was kind of under the impression, I don't know why, and this is why it's so important to have not only the wonderful community we have here at Wayward City Games, but like having, resources such as you, having resources such as the Digimon, FAQ, where they kind of explain these things.
Oh man, I printed every single one of those FAQs out for our Digimon community, just in case I'm not there, you're not there, and our shop owner or Joe's not there. Like if someone
Joe's a great judge as well too.
Absolutely. So if somebody that's not been with the game since the beginning actually has to do it, they have this Q&A, because the Q&A, if you guys don't utilize the Q&A that actually gets reprinted every single set on Digimon TCG's
where people
website,
ask these common questions or whatever.
It is 90, I would say maybe 85% of the questions you have are answered just if this does this do this, and it's per card per set. So if you guys have any questions, please go to that website. It's the main Bandai, and you go to Rule, and then it's right there. But that's
not
where
like you're on some obscure website.
No,
you're literally on world.digimoncard or digimoncard.world, whatever, like official website.
Yeah. So that's where we get the majority of our rules. But some things, like the play cost thing, they just assume, I guess, that you look in the corner at that little
technically
tiny
is
font,
written on the top left card of,
It is.
It's something I didn't learn until like 10 minutes before filming this video. So very excited to, I love any day that I learn something new is a good day. So
you were challenged.
I was
in
challenged.
California.
Correct.
And you reached out to me because
I did.
There were 2 judges that shot you down. And so you conceded to them shooting you down, which is great. But then we got on webcam that night, and then we looked it up together.
Okay. So this is an important point to make, right?
Tell us about the situation.
I don't think those guys that I was playing with in California, I know that I have one fan at least down there that actively watches this. Shout out to you as always, my man. But the other 2, I don't think they watch this. So, I'm not trying to insult them or anything like that, right? But this was
we were
a
just
play.
wrong the other day. So, I mean, it's fine. Everyone's wrong every now and then.
War Gray X antibody, right? BT9 big bad red war gray, absolutely wonderful level 6, swings into security, right? All turns when opponent's security card is removed, gain in memory, right? Right? That's very, very important. It's very strong. It's a very good effect, right? So
is it your turn or all turns?
It says all turns.
Okay.
So this is very important. So like if they play a TK, right? But that's not what we're specifically talking about on the ruling.
But it's not a once per turn.
It's not a once per turn.
Yeah.
So here's where I don't want to say argument, because it was definitely not an argument, because I didn't fight them. I had 2 people ruling in an area that I'm not normally in, and I just took it. And even if it did get quote unquote ruled my way, it's not like I was going to win the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it just would have given me 1 extra memory. So not a game changer, right? But I think it was so important because I shot this message to you like, hey man, this is my situation. What is the official like FAQ? What is the official ruling?
I pulled that up within like 3 minutes.
That's why you're so reliable, man. That's why you're like built for this, right? But so anyways, so Wargray X swings in security. Let's say I'm only 12K, don't have any buffs for easy numbers, right? I hit an Omnimon, 14K Blitz Omni. I'm deleted, right? The question that was brought up was, do I still gain that memory because a security card was removed from the stack? So my understanding of that card before this happened, and this is, again, not to talk bad about anybody, was that I just gained that memory, right? No matter what the security card was. You gain that memory because you flip it, it's removed from the stack.
Yep.
Tell me what that ruling is.
So technically, you guys were both wrong, which is interesting, right? So we looked it up line by line. And interestingly enough, so the Wargray would swing into security.
Correct.
Now, in the situation that happened, you were right because you hit a Digimon that was big enough to kill it.
Correct.
So the way that it works, the Digimon swings into security. Before your effects on your Digimon trigger, your all turns, the security effect would trigger. So if you would have hit a Wyvern's Breath or a Gaia Force and you didn't have protection, right?
Correct.
Your Digimon would be deleted before your all turns
gaining the memory
would go off.
Okay.
However,
so if I hit a Gaia Force, just to clarify, if I would have hit a Wyvern's Breath, that completely
you would not gain.
If I would have hit a Chaos Egg, anything that just removes that body from the board, didn't have protection,
you would not gain the memory.
I would not gain the memory.
Because security effects happen before the card leaves the security area.
Okay. Yep.
Now, the way that the ruling is if you hit a body that's bigger than yours, the card leaves the security and battles. So it leaves the security, then battles, and then you'd be deleted. So you would actually get to activate your all turns.
So I would gain that memory in the case of gaining or battling the Omnimon and security like happened to me.
So security effects happen in the security area because, I mean, that makes sense, right? Because security happens in the security area.
Correct.
The battles happen outside the security area.
Got it.
Which is why security Digimon, which I'm very fond of lately, the security effect is after the battle.
Play the card.
Do the effects, right? So it comes out and then it battles. So you were kind of both wrong. But at the same time, you should have gained that memory.
Again, this wouldn't have made me win the game. This wouldn't have made me, like all of a sudden go undefeated and just like decimate my entire scene, right? Like this was just one memory as a point of contention. It did not become heated. It was still a great time at my locals. I just wanted to get some extra clarification on this. And it was very interesting to see the whole mechanics of when you battle into security Digimon.
Because that is tricky. I'm not going to lie. It's not tricky. It kind of goes into, I mean, I guess it's not something we were like super prepared to talk about, but there was a couple instances where a couple popular YouTubers did not do things in the right order. Like there was a time where there was a EX1 Infamon out, right?
Yep.
And then there was an opponent that digivolved onto something that would de-digivolve on his turn.
Correct.
But the BT1, the YouTuber, like decided that he got an interrupt with this BT1 Infamon and would get to gain the memory because you're digivolving into something that's a level 5 or higher while this Infamon was out, even though the offensive player got to get their, they had a when digivolving de-digivolve 1.
Yeah.
So they get to activate that first. So if you're
They have that
offensive,
turn priority.
if you're
that's in this
offensive,
game.
you get the turn priority on your when digivolving before they get their on opponent's turn stuff. So he could have de-digivolved that Infernmon and not lost the memory. So there is a lot of turn-specific stuff, especially I think that is the most important part is that, like, so when you're digivolving up offensive or when it's your turn, you're the priority. The same with when attacking.
Correct.
And your opponent's turn stuff happens. So there's a lot of give and take when that happens. So very important there. And I think the last one that was really blatant to us and that we wanted to talk about was
popped up a bunch. Right?
Was the Palmumon stuff, because especially Flame Hell Scythe has been so popular. I mean, I know it's popular in my security control deck.
It's great in purple yellow decks for sure.
So I guess it's Palmumon / Pillowmon. So if you Flame Hell Scythe the Palmumon or the Pillowmon, can you still play a body afterwards?
Correct.
And the answer is no, you cannot.
Yeah. This is a very interesting ruling, right? Because this takes the whole aspect of just like Calling from Darkness, right? Where you are playing the full effect of the option, right? So let's say in purple, Calling from Darkness, you're deleting a body, right? You take 2 cards out of your trash, and those 2 cards happen to be the cards that have on-deletion effects, right? Those on-deletion effects would not trigger because you pulled them out of security before the option resolved, right? This is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
The Flame Hell Scythe, if you would be so kind to break it down.
Yes. So your opponent has a Palmumon. You have a, let's just be, generous and say you have a Magnangemon, right? If you decide that you're going to Flame Hell Scythe their Palmumon or their Pillowmon because you want to play out your Magnangemon for free, it's not going to work because it doesn't delete. So the initial effect of the Flame Hell Scythe does not necessarily delete and remove the on-field effect of the Palmumon. What it does is it reduces the DP down to 0 until all of your effects of that option resolve. And unfortunately, the 0 DP deletion of that Palmumon does not happen until after all of your effects of that Flame Hell Scythe resolve. In which case, that Palmumon exists on your board with 0 DP for that millisecond that you were going to try and play that Magnangemon.
Because the option fully resolves.
Yes.
And this is such a tricky situation, right? Because DP reduction, right? Yes, obviously if you hit a Wyvern's Breath of Security, it's almost like a Gaia Force. It just basically deletes the body, right? Yeah. But DP reduction as a whole is such a crazy game mechanic, and that's exactly what it is, a game mechanic, right? So if you hit, like, if you guys have not seen our commentary video, go check that out, where Rapidmon, right, hits a Flame Hell Scythe, or you play a Flame Hell Scythe on a Digimon with Armor Purge, right? Yes, you can trash the card to be, to prevent deletion, right? But you're still a 0 DP Digimon
underneath it.
And the game state, the game mechanics do not allow that to be active on the board.
Yes.
And it deletes that, right? Due to game mechanics. So I remember this was a big thing when that Guilmon came up, the purple Guilmon from BT5, I believe, where it's like, if it's deleted by an effect, gain 1 memory, right? Well, guess what? DP reduction is not an effect.
Yes.
Hence the reason why Greymon X or Metal Greymon X antibody with that inheritable, right? Excuse me, the Alterous mode, right? That has an inheritable. If it was going to die to an effect, trash 2, right? DP reduction gets around that because it's not an effect.
Yep.
It's a game mechanic.
I think we learned that early on with Blitz Omni.
We did. Yep. You can still absolutely Wyvern's Breath, that Omnimon, and it can't trash at level 6 to prevent that because it's not an effect. It's
a 0 DP Digimon.
It's a 0 DP Digimon, and according to the rules of the game mechanics,
0 Digimon cannot exist. Absolutely. Okay, so we're moving into alt arts.
This is shiny cardboard that we always get obsessed with.
Yes, so EX4 has been revealed. We are done with EX4. Sadly, no Diaboromon.
I mean, I'm sorry, man, but I kind of saw it coming.
I know, we all did. I mean, maybe with the Royal Knight stuff, or maybe we're going to get Royal Knights. Maybe there's going to be a counter to Royal Knights.
Like who their villains were in the series and stuff like that. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a Demon Lord set.
That would be cool, pretty cool, right?
Yeah. But
the problem is with Demon Lords is that purple only has like such tight of a room. How are you gonna fit 7 level 6s into a purple slot that only has 3, right?
just change the color. Digimon does that.
No, purple's only Demon Lords, right?
Oh god, that's what I'm hoping with BT13 is like how many like. Oh man, do we need another red Jessmon card? Just change the color. Make it a blue Jessmon or something.
Just no more Jessmons in general.
There has to be. It's a Royal Knight. We're going to get representation.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll get into that later. But we are done with the X4, so now they're starting to throw these alt arts at us at a rapid pace.
They are.
And oddly enough, they waited so long to provide us with the Ravemon card. But,
yes.
But they're like right out of the gate. Here's the alt art for it.
Well, here's what's exciting. About EX sets is the fact that there's always extra alt arts compared
3
to
per box,
normal sets, right? Usually, so like there's more bodies, right? And I really like what Digimon does where they give a good level 3 that's like a searcher or like a core of the deck, a good alt art. We're talking about, Dracomon and the Examon deck, right? Or, just an example of that, right? But man, this Ravemon, this Falcomon, specifically the level 3, I'm very excited about. It's such a great level 3. Like the altar looks so nice, very clean, very crisp.
It's going to be nice with the texture.
It's going to be so nice. And the Ravemon. Yep. The Ravemon does a great job showing his little silver wing where he's like blocking that blast and he's got the sword drawn and, kind of that reverse grip that he does. And the whole, if you follow the Ravemon lore, right? It says as much as I do, because guys, since literally day 1 of Digimon, every survey I can get my hands on, I have said I wanted Bloomlord, Ravemon, Apollomon, Dianamon, Grace Novamon. And I even remember saying I wanted Snow Agumon at one point. So, guys, I'm not saying Bandai's strictly listening to me, but come on. Half of my survey requests have popped the latest.
My big thing is, how many times do the level 3 alt arts command the King's Ransom of the deck?
Well, that's a great point,
look at this
right?
Agumon X antibody alt art.
Well,
tons of money. The Ryutamon was,
or the Dorumon,
not
too.
Now, but the Ryutamon was like the number 1 alt art in that entire box. It's not now. But it used to be.
Yep.
So there's a lot of times where these rookie alt arts just command.
Well, it's so exciting,
money,
right? Because those are the cards that you can obviously digivolve in the raising area, but those are your hard plays.
Well, they're also the 4-ofs usually.
Yeah, they're a 4-of. They're like a turn 1. I'm going to play this as a searcher. Grab a couple cards, grab a card, whatever it is. You want that in a big shiny card that's super texturized, right, or whatever. So,
texturing the rookies, it's a good play, Digimon.
It is. It is a good play.
You see 3s, almost never 4s.
Yep.
Sometimes 5s, always 6s, and always 7s.
Yeah, but it's the beginning of the stack and the end of the stack, right?
Very nice. And then we got the Gallants. We got the Dukemons, right?
My goodness. So
we got the Magic card.
I guys, I have to say, this whole medieval Dukemon, medieval Gallamon, whatever the translation is going to be, right? Yeah. I think it's still going to be medieval.
It's going to be Gallant.
Right? It's going to be Gallant, right? It looks like a beautiful Magic card. And I'm not talking in a bad way. I'm talking
about the red-green one.
Yes, the red-green Gallant, right? It literally looks like there's a forest in the background. It looks like a Gruul, right? The red-green color combo, right? That they call Magic. It looks like it came out of that. This is an insanely nice card. Absolutely beautiful. Just this whole... I don't know, man. Digimon must know a lot of good things. It's crazy to see where we've come from as a whole franchise to now.
Yeah.
To where it's this card is just insane. Oh, my goodness.
And all we can see is the base image without the texture.
Correct. We're not even seeing it in person. You just sent me a video of the Beelzemon starter deck stuff.
The Beelzemon starter deck.
Where it's seeing that difference between what we already thought was a nice alt art to all of a sudden holy crap, look at this in a video.
Yeah, look at the texture.
Look at the texture, right?
It's insane. It's a crazy difference.
Yes.
Because you got the Chaos Gallant too, and you're like,
oh yeah, very nice, very nice.
Very,
it's hard, man, to compare though, because that medieval Gallant or medieval Duke, whatever they're gonna call it, is so good.
Yeah.
Where it's that Chaos Gallant is kind of like an afterthought.
Yeah.
When you have them right next to each other when they got revealed at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but they both do look outstanding.
The thing that shocked us today. So we were like in the middle of our locals.
We were.
And I'm like, I got the notification from Discord on my phone, and it's like Victory Gray and the Zeed Garuru alt arts have been
I am
revealed.
so excited to talk about these because
I cannot wait to see the texture on those.
Because BT4, right? So I've always been a fan of the whole Victory Greymon. I remember being a kid, walking into a GameStop here at the Vancouver Mall and picking up Digimon World Dawn, right? And picking up Digimon World Dusk. And on the box of Digimon World Dawn is an image of Victory Greymon. And then you like never got him in the game. And I just remember being like, why is he on the box art, but he's not on the game? And like, who is this Digimon? What is this subspecies of the Greymon line, right? I just remember being like obsessed with this Victory Greymon. Like, what is this? What is the deal with it? And then finding out there's the whole Zeed Garurumon counterpart, you know? And so like this whole BT4, like we're talking early into the game.
Early on.
Like Japanese cards. You know, I collected Japanese cards and I bought Japanese cards and imported them up until set 4 because that was before they announced it for the English release, right? I remember seeing this Victory Greymon and Zekarumon at the beginning of the game, basically. I mean, like, holy crap, they're going to give us these obscure characters, or they're going to give us these different lines that are so unique and cool. Like, this is, again, a very, very good sign to the positivity of this whole franchise, of this scene, of this game.
It was positive for you, but as someone that doesn't know the lore, I was like, these alt arts are crap. These are not the alt arts I wanted out of Great Legends.
These are the point. That's the point I want to make, is that the Zegarumon looks way better than the Victory Greymon, but the Victory Greymon didn't look that great. Like, the alt art was cool, yes.
Gold foiling, yeah.
Yes, but man, these Victory Greymon and Zegarumon alt arts that they just revealed, outstanding.
With
this
the texture
is like,
and actually
this
good
is
effects.
what we should have got sets ago.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I don't know, guys. Comment in the comment section if there's lore between the whole. I gotta know, right? Is there an Omnimon equivalent when Zegarumon and Victory Greymon DNA Digivolve together? I don't think there is. In all my research, I never found anything
realize there's
about
different
that.
alter letters. There's S and B and like,
yes. So someone who's not familiar with the Digimon lore, right? I get that. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Omnimon is obviously, the main one between the Garurumon and the Greymon species, right? Yeah. But the whole Alter S was the whole idea of Blitz Greymon and Crest Garurumon instead of, and they're kind of like opposites of each other, right? Yeah. Like Greymon had the sword, Crest Garurumon has the sword. Metal Garurumon has the cannon, Blitz Greymon has the cannon. That's Alter S. Alter B is just the black version of that, right? And then Zord Defeat's kind of like a virus corrupted version of that, whereas Zord is just like a black version of the regular Omnimon, right? But in all my research, I haven't seen any like Zeed Garurumon, Victory Greymon, DNA Digivolve, so
someone will educate you.
I'm definitely curious. I don't think there is, but I would love to see anything like that. If you're not on a Discord, send me all the information you have. Jump in, let me know. Thanks.
All right. We're going to get into it now, though, because you're going to educate me on what your card of the week is, because I have a spicy one that helps my security deck.
Mine's kind of like the boring card of the week compared to yours, especially as I'm looking at this. Like,
well, it depends on which version you're talking about. We might argue about it.
Okay, guys. So my card of the week is the BT10 Omnimon X Antibody.
That's the wrong one, but okay.
So that's the thing, right? Okay, so here's the deal. This is the reason why this particular Omnimon is my card of the week, right? So I remember when this card came out, it was almost like the Omnimon Merciful mode.
Yes.
Right? Where
overlooked, underpriced,
like not an outstanding card. It was cheap on the secondary market. The alt arts look great. The artwork is amazing. Obviously, for those of you like me who've watched, the Digimon Tri series where that Omnimon Merciful was revealed, it was a really cool scene to go in against the Ordinmon. I was really happy it was in the card game. But this Omnimon X Antibody kind of came out, and I was kind of looking at it, and I don't know if it was because there was an errata on the card where I kind of like overlooked the effect, or I kind of stopped paying attention to it because it kind of frustrates me sometimes when there's an errata. Like my card should say what it does on the card.
Yeah.
Right. But this is just an Omnimon that I was just hesitant to try. And, I remember the whole BT5, the first Omnimon X Antibody, right? I remember specifically one of my favorite decks back in that day was playing like a purple turbo into Tactimon, going into Zord Defeat, and then going from Zord Defeat into that Omnimon X Antibody. Yeah. Just such a fun deck. That Omnimon X Antibody from BT5, when attacking, deletes something with the same DP or less.
And you had to deal with my Omnimon Turbo deck.
You had this wonderful red Omnimon Turbo deck where you just trashed 2 sources left and right to prevent all these attacks, which would have probably done me a lot of good tonight, being able to prevent attacks, being at 0 security, right, where all of a sudden I'm living, right? But the reason specifically why I'm talking about the BT10 Omnimon X antibody is A, I completely overlooked it. Yeah. Right. This is one of those cards that, like, I was like, well, what is the point of either A, reducing the point or reducing the number of my Blitz Omnis, or A, adding a top end to kind of take away from my lower end consistency?
Yeah.
But I used it tonight. That was one of those, like, holy crap, this card is really good.
It's a good marriage with the Blitz Omni.
A security card, and it pairs so well with the X antibody option.
Yeah.
Right. You're swinging into security. You know, you already had the Blitz Omni, and now all of a sudden you just activated that X antibody option to devolve for 1 into this card that trashes a security.
Yeah.
Man, this Omnimon...
And it goes from 14 to 15K.
It's really good. It's a 16K.
16K, that's right. Yeah, even
We're
bigger,
talking about the highest DP in the game because we have the Alpha Mono Ruken and this Blitz Omni, right? 16K bodies.
Without buffs.
Without buffs. And even hitting it in security... That's devastating. It's hard to get, like, you know, I feel like decks can get to 15K, especially red decks, pretty easily.
Oh, easily, yeah.
But there's a huge difference between 15 and 16. Mm-hmm. And this really provides that. So that's my card of the week, guys. I would love for you guys all to jump in the comments. And because I specifically, if you remember in any of our old videos, kind of disregarded this particular Omnimon.
Yeah.
Come tell me Jeff was wrong. Would love that. Jesse, tell me your card of the week.
Well, I'm just going to piggyback on that for a second.
Yeah. Please.
I find it interesting that this is the second Omnimon in a row.
Yeah.
That lets you touch your opponent's cards.
Yes.
Because the merciful mode lets you pick 10 and put them back on the deck
out
from
of the trash.
Yep, and now you get to look at your opponent's security and be like, that one. I don't like that one.
It's so
Go
good.
away. Yeah. Very cool. So my card of the week was inspired by some last-minute changes to my security Digimon security control deck.
I was so excited when you were texting me these changes.
Oh, and
so excited.
The funny thing is I got these alt arts in the mail because I was going to try and put them in as I'm still messing with this Hexablau deck.
Yeah,
right?
You're actively working to try to give the content the fans want. Hexablau.
And I can't give it to them without alt arts. I'm going off of what you taught me. So I got these Shakumons from BT8, and I got them, and I just kept reading them, and then I saw a couple security control decks, and I'm just like, everything that comes out of my security is, I mean, minus the Geograys.
Correct.
I can make blue or yellow.
Correct. Yep.
And this card recovers 99% of the time, and if it doesn't recover, then it's going to return a level 7 or higher.
Returns a body.
Like, that's crazy. Like, it makes sense to run a couple of these, right? And it helped me so well tonight. Because there are a lot of times in this security Digimon security control deck where I'm swinging with bodies and they don't die. Even though you expect them to die, but they're going to hit a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4.
Or a tamer.
Or a tamer or an option that goes to hand or whatever. And you're left with bodies on board, and you can Digivolve and swing again, or just start your turn by not swinging, recover 1, because that's what the deck needs to do, but you're recovering 1 for free, and you're being able to return a body to hand.
So for those of you guys who are following along, who are all of a sudden brand new to our channel, haven't seen any little deck profiles, we have a wonderful Digimon deck list that was posted by Jesse here.
Yeah.
Security Digimon, right?
Yeah.
So this is an addition to that deck that I think perfectly amplifies the strength of his deck, playing all these level 4s, or excuse me, that your opponent plays for you while they swing into security. Now they get to DNA Digivolve. And DNA Digivolve is such a crazy mechanic.
Yeah.
Or should I say Jawgrass, because it's such a cooler term.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Japanese sign, right?
They should have kept it.
I know. We don't have to hear me complain about how Burning Gray is not a great mon in Japanese translations.
So if you're looking at that old, if you're looking at that, I don't want to say old, but if you're looking at that video from a week ago or so, a week and a half or whatever. So I do play 2 of the Shakus and I run 1 Chimera because they just play so well off the level 4s. But the Shaku is so good. and it won me a game. It won me at least a game tonight, if not taking a couple security off of the other games. But it's nice just to have in your hand.
Yep.
I'm gonna try and find a way to make it work in Hexablau. I'm gonna make it work. I might add some. I might do like a hybrid deck and run some security Digimon. And, because it's working out so well. We're trying to find ways to make that deck work because that is a very requested video. But overall, very, very good deck. Even if you don't DNA Digivolve, you Digivolve for 4 if you have 5 or less, which, if you're not already at 6,
yeah,
you recover 1 for a 4-cost Digivolve.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And the Inheritable is really good.
Yep.
If you Digivolve on top of it, you can minus 3k from one of your opponent's Digimon.
Yeah.
Very, very good. So that's my card of the week. We're going to close this out. So I'll just say I'm working on the Hexaplow deck, and it's probably going to include security Digimon.
Yeah.
And the Shakumon. Maybe Chimeras. Probably Chimeras. What are you working on this week?
So I'm glad you asked me this because I was very excited to over the past couple weeks to hey, everybody, tell me what you want my homework to be, right? So I have come up with a deck list for everything on paper, right? I'm talking, I've only theory crafted, right? And if you guys know our channel, right, we don't just post decks that we've theory crafted. We test things, and yes, we do make changes sometimes after things are posted, and we always want to share that with you. Feel free to jump on Discord, message us about changes that we made. But I went through a Mamimon list, I went a Pulsemon tribal list, I went through. What was the other homework assignments I got? I got a whole bunch of them.
Bunch, yeah.
But I literally remember sending you text messages with 10 different deck profiles because I'm sitting there one night just literally constructing about a list. So
that Pulsemon tribal, I'm really excited.
So I'm really excited to share those too, and it's really nice too that now that I'm back in town a little bit early, right? Unfortunately, guys, I do have a career and I do have to work. So when I'm not at work, right, or spending time catching up with the family during the holidays, I will be putting together these decks and I will be starting to test them. We're going to be recording a whole bunch of crazy content, especially with this kind of lull period between BT10, EX3, and BT11. But I'm also kind of curious to hear your thoughts. I know this might be blasphemy. What are your thoughts on the One Piece game? Yeah. So I'm having some fun playing the One Piece game. I'm not going to be, dropping Digimon. Guys, if you're playing the One Piece game, it's fun. I get it, but it's definitely not.
It's different. Yeah.
It's different. It's not there's no reason to drop this game. You know what I'm saying? This game is going to be better. It's such a fun mechanic. The Digimon lore is so much fun. This is coming from a huge fan that is up to date in the manga of One Piece, so don't get me wrong. But I'm going to be definitely diving into that, having some fun. So definitely like to hear you guys' thoughts, comments in the section below.
Yeah.
Let me know what kind of deck lists you guys want to see coming up next. Now that we have some time, we'll start getting some fun lists together. Start doing some extra testing on Discord.
We have so much time between now and BT 12? 11.
Yeah.
11. We have so much time between now and BT 11 to profile some really cool decks.
Yeah.
We'll get them all out there for you guys eventually. I'll figure out Hexaplow. I know
that's been your homework assignment.
Yeah,
yep.
We still got some Great Dragon stuff to do. We still got some
That's right.
D-Brigade to do. We'll get there. So
we'll get there.
Yeah. Dark Knight. We're gonna just roast.
Oh man, I've just been totally bullied by Dark Knight this entire past format. I feel like
we'll draw straws to figure out who does Dark Knight.
Yeah, guys, Dark Knight is so good. If you're not playing Dark Knight, stop what you're doing. Start playing Dark Knight.
All right. So we're going to end on that sad note because it kills both of us. So thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much.
Please like, comment, subscribe, join our Discord, join the community, reach out to us. It's been great. This is the long one, but we had a blast. So thanks, guys.